Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 4, chapter 16, and text 15. Ranjayishyati yallokam
Ranjayishyati yatlokam
ayam atma vichestite
ayam atma vicheshtite
athamam ahu rajanam
athamaham ahurajanam
manoranjanake praja.
manoranjanake praja.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This king will please everyone by his practical activities, and all of his citizens will remain very satisfied. Because of this, the citizens will take great satisfaction in accepting him as their ruling king. So because Maharaj Pṛthu is going to be such a good ruler, people want to be ruled by him. He's going to take care of everyone so nicely that they want to be subordinate to him. Like people say, oh, we want Ram Raj again, because Lord Ramachandra ruled the kingdom in such a satisfactory way. So, Drida Vrita Satya Sandho
Vridavrita satyasandho
Brahmanyo Vrida Sevaka
brahmanya vidyasevaka
Sharanya Sarva Bhutanam
sharanya sarvabhutanam
Manado Dina Vatsala.
manado dinavatsala.
The king will be firmly determined and always situated in truth. He will be a lover of the Brahminical culture and will render all service to old men and give shelter to all surrendered souls. Giving respect to all, he will always be merciful to the poor and innocent. The word Vriddha Sevaka is very significant. Vriddha means old men. There are two kinds of old men. One is old by age and another is old by knowledge. This Sanskrit word indicates that one can be older by the advancement of knowledge. So, what is Prabhupada saying? Well, how many types of old people are there?
Two types.
And what are the two kinds?
One is old by age, the other is old by knowledge.
Thank you. So, we should try to get this transcendental knowledge. King Pṛthu was very respectful to the Brahmanas and he protected them. He also protected persons advanced in age. Whatever the king would decide to do, no one would be able to stop. That is called Dridha Sankalp or Dridvrat. So King Pṛthu, he was protecting both kinds of old people, not only those who are advanced in age, but also those who are advanced in knowledge. Dridvrat.
That means that the advanced in. Sorry, just one question. So the advance in knowledge means the Brahmanas, right? That's what they are trying to refer here as.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And the age, the one who were old by the age is the regular people, who were old people, who were in the society, right? That is the state.
So King Pṛthu was taking care of both of them.
Okay. Wow. Like for the Brahmanas, a new word, who are old in the knowledge, like who has a lot of knowledge.
Okay.
Good.
And Dridvrat, Krishna also says that we should be determined to engage in devotional service. Rupa Goswami also says determination. So here Pṛthu Maharaj is determined to take care of everyone. So the same determination is needed for any activity. So we should also have this kind of determination for our devotional service. Matir Bhakte Parastrishu
Matir
Bhakti Parastrishu
Patnyam Ardha Ivatmana
Patnayam Ardha Ivatmanaha
Rajasu Pitrivat Snigdha
Prajasu Pitruvat Snigdha
Kinkaro Brahmavadinam.
Kinkaro
Brahmavadinam.
The king will respect all women as if they were his own mother, and he will treat his own wife as the other half of his body. He will be just like an affectionate father to his citizens, and he will treat himself as the most obedient servant of the devotees, who always preach the glories of the Lord. So here he's taking care of the citizens as a father takes care of the children. And he's being a servant of the devotees. And who are the devotees? Preaching the glories of the Lord. So a learned man treats all women except his wife as his mother, looks on others' property as garbage in the street, and treats others as he would treat his own self. So very interesting. A learned man. We think somebody who has great degrees, PhD, or something, they're learned. But this is described by Chanakya Pandit. Prabhupada says in the next line that who is actually learned, he treats all women except his wife as his mother, looks on others' property as garbage in the street, and treats others as he would treat his own self. These are the symptoms of a learned person as described by Chanakya Pandit. This should be the standard for education. Education does not mean having academic degrees only. One should execute what he has learned in his personal life. These learned characteristics were verily manifest in the life of King Pṛthu. Although he was the king, he treated himself as a servant of the Lord's devotees. So, not easy, He's a king, so he has so much power, so much opulence, so many people are bowing down to him. But he himself is feeling that he's a servant of the devotees. According to Vedic etiquette, if a devotee came to the king's palace, the king would immediately offer his own seat to him. The word Brahmavadinam is very significant. Brahmavadi refers to the devotees of the Lord. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan are different terms for the Supreme Brahman, and the Supreme Brahman is Lord Krishna. This is accepted in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 by Arjuna, Param Brahma Param Dhama. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is saying, who is the Param Brahman?
Sri Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. Sri Krishna. And who are the Brahmavadi?
The one who believes that the Brahman is the
Lord.
The devotees of the Lord. Oh, Brahmavadis.
They're the devotees of the Lord. So thus the word Brahmavadinam refers to the devotees of the Lord. The state should always serve the devotees of the Lord, and the ideal state should conduct itself according to the instructions of the devotee. Because King Pṛthu followed this principle, he is highly praised. So Pṛthu Maharaj, he is ruling under the guidance of the sages, the brahmanas, the devotees. And so he's able to rule everyone very satisfactorily. Dehinam Atmavat Preshtha.
Dehinam Atmavat Preshtha.
Suridam Nandivardhana. Mukta Sangha Prasangoyam.
Mukta
Sanga Prasango Yam
Danda Panir Asadushu.
Danda Pani Asadushu.
The king will consider all embodied living entities as dear as his own self, and he will always be increasing the pleasures of his friends. He will intimately associate with liberated persons, and he will be a chastising hand to all impious persons. The word Dehinam refers to those who are embodied. Dehinam refers to those who are embodied. What does that mean? Anyone?
The one like we have been embodied in this body, like so we are the Jivatmas.
Is it that to whoever, like how many ever births we've taken?
We are the Jivatmas. Is it like that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that we are the soul and we are inside the body. That's why we are
Body.
called embodied.
They are.
Dehi is this body, this Deha, the material body that we have. So the living entities are embodied in different forms, which number 8,400,000 species. How many forms? How many species?
8,400,000.
8,400,000.
And out of that, how
84
many are 84 lakh? And out of that, how many are human species?
400,000.
400,000.
Thank you. All of these were treated by the king in the same way he would treat himself. Not easy, no? He's treating everyone as he would treat himself in this. So not only the other human beings, any living entity. Doesn't mean that only the human beings are embodied. Even the animals, the plants, the birds, the bees, everyone.
Fish.
This is how King Pṛthu is.
So he treated all the 84 lakh yoni as the same. Is it?
I'm sorry?
So is it that he treated all the 800 like 84 lakh all the
Yes.
same? 840 all
Yes.
same as himself. He would treat himself. He would treat them as.
Yes.
Oh,
That's right. Not only the human beings, but all the living entities he's treating himself. Even the birds, the bees, the fish, the animals.
So he saw Krishna in everything.
Yeah, that's
Right?
right.
So that's why he was
Yes.
treating everyone the same he'll treat, because he sees in everyone God.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
so when like
So
somebody says, like, when somebody claims falsely that I am the avatar of Lord, this is one of the things, because he was the Shaktavesh avatar of Lord, and he knew, right, that Paramatma is in everyone and he treated them. But then generally people don't.
yeah.
So this is
So
also, right?
yeah. Yes. Yes.
This could be
Yeah.
also one of the ways how we. Wow.
Yes. Yes. Very good. In this age, however, so-called kings and presidents do not treat all other living entities as their own self. Most of them are meat eaters. And even though they may not be meat eaters and may pose themselves to be very religious and pious, they still allow cow slaughter within their state. Such sinful heads of state cannot actually be popular at any time. Another significant word in this verse is Mukta Sangha Prasanga, which indicates that the king was always associating with liberated persons. So what does Mukta Sangha Prasanga mean?
King was always associating with liberated persons.
Yeah. Okay. Ayam tu sakshat bhagvam striya adishaha.
I am
Tu Sakshat Bhagavan Triadishah
Kutasthatma kalaya avatirnaha.
Kutastha
Kutastha
Atma Kalaya Avatinah
Yasmin avidya rachitam nirarthakam.
Yasmin Avidya Rachitam Nirarthakam
Pashyanti nanatvam pratitam.
Pashyanti Nana Tvamapi Pratitam.
This king is the master of the three worlds, and he is directly empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is without change, and he is an incarnation of the Supreme, known as Shaktiavish Avatar. Being a liberated soul and completely learned, he sees all material varieties as meaningless because their basic principle is nescience. The reciters of these prayers are describing the transcendental qualities of Pṛthu Maharaj. These qualities are summarized in the words Sakshat Bhagwan. This indicates that Maharaj Pṛthu is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead and therefore possesses unlimited good qualities. Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaj Pṛthu could not be equaled in his excellent qualities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully equipped with 6 kinds of opulences, and King Pṛthu was also empowered in such a way that he could display these 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full. So Krishna, he has the 6 opulences in full, and so his incarnations also have these 6 opulences in full. They may or may not choose to exhibit those opulences. They may choose to exhibit only what is necessary for that time, place, and circumstance. So this is what's being said. The word kutastha, meaning without change, is also very significant. There are 2 kinds of living entities, Nitya Mukta and Nitya Bhada. So 2 kinds living entities. A Nitya Mukta never forgets his position as the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, how many kinds of living entities are there?
2.
And what are they?
Nitya Mukta and Nitya Bhada.
Baddha.
And who is a Nitya Mukta?
Devotees.
I'm sorry?
He's the one who doesn't forget that he's the servant of the God, Supreme God.
That's right.
And
So the
also
Nitya Mukta, yes.
and doesn't forget the position that he's a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord.
Yes. So the Nitya Mukta, they're always in the spiritual world. They live where? In the
Spiritual world.
Yeah, everyone in the spiritual world is Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated. They are the liberated souls and they live in the spiritual world. So such a
So
Nitya
they
Mukta living,
sometimes come, right? So the Nitya Mukta
yeah,
sometimes come to guide us,
yeah, the
right?
pure devotees, Krishna
The pure
sometimes
devotees.
sends them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, Krishna will send the Nitya Mukta souls to this material world to guide us, yeah, to teach us about devotional service. Then what
Okay.
happens that somebody who's a Nitya Bada, now what's a Nitya Bada? It's like
Jivatmas. We, the Jivatmas, are the Nitya Baddhas,
even the
right?
Nitya Mukta is the Jivatma.
Oh, the one
Nitya
who are
Mukta.
the Baddhas, the one that we know that we are the body. We consider that
Yeah,
we are the body. They are the Nitya
yeah,
Baddhas, right?
that's right. The conditioned souls.
The conditioned
So
souls,
we are
yeah.
here in the material world. So then what happens when a conditioned soul he becomes perfect, he becomes a pure devotee, and he goes to the spiritual world, then which category will he become?
Nitya Mukta.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah.
But if he's sent back to the material world to teach us, so then he becomes a Nitya Baddha? No, right?
No, no.
He's still a Nitya
He's
Mukta.
eternally liberated. Yeah.
He's eternal.
He's eternally liberated. Even though he may be here in the material world, but he never forgets. That's how he's able to teach us. That's how he's able to show us the way.
So then he's still, right, known as. So that means you find Nitya Muktas also in the material world who are,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So the acharyas,
Acha, yeah.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, yeah. They are such living entities who come to show us the way of how to engage in devotional service and go back to Godhead.
Mhm.
So then reading on, such a Nitya Mukta living entity represents the super soul as his expansion. As stated in the Vedas, Nitya Nityanam. Thus, the Nitya Mukta living entity knows that he is an expansion of the Supreme Nitya or the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead. He completely understands his position. There's no doubt in his mind about his relationship with Krishna. Being in such a position, he sees the material world with a different vision. The living entity who is Nitya Baddha or eternally conditioned sees the material varieties as being actually different from one another. So what's the difference? The Nitya Baddha, what we are seeing, what are we seeing?
That what we are trying to say here is they are different. Nitya Baddha and the Nitya Muktas, they both are different, right? And the Nitya Mukta always sees the world that everybody is part and like they see Krishna in everybody.
Yeah.
Unlike Nitya Baddhas. And they don't have a material vision, like they still always have the spiritual vision towards every jiva, that yes, that every jiva has Krishna in him. But the Nitya Baddhas, they see that, oh, he's an animal, oh, he's a human, oh, he's an insect, oh, it's a tree. So that's the difference, what they're trying to tell.
Yes.
Each entity is different.
Yeah, each entity, like that's an animal, that's a tree, that's a bird. He see them differently. But the Nitya Mukta doesn't see like that. He just see everybody as that Paramatma is there, everybody as Krishna, that all are same. So he sees everybody like that. Is it what they're trying to say?
He sees everyone as part and parcel of Krishna.
Parcel
He
of
sees
Krishna.
everyone as souls, as individual souls, part and parcel of Krishna. Yes, that's right. So one may dress in different ways, but a really learned man does not take dresses into consideration, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.18. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Swapakicha Pandita Sama Darshina. So this Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 18, who is learned? The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast. Thus a learned man does not look upon the dresses that externally cover the living entity, but sees the pure soul within the varieties of dress, and knows very well that the varieties of dress are the creation of nations, avidya rachitam. So he's seeing everyone as a pure soul, as part and parcel of Krishna. He's not saying that one is an elephant or a dog. Because he knows that these dresses, this is just the material covering that we have. And we have taken on this material covering due to our ignorance. And based on our different karmic activities, we are having these different kinds of dresses. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Being a Shakti-Avesh avatar empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pṛthu Maharaj did not change his spiritual position, and consequently there was no possibility of his viewing the material world as reality. So Pṛthu Maharaj, he is an incarnation of the Lord, so he has this transcendental vision. It doesn't mean that because he's in the material world, his vision has become material. No, he's still transcendental. He understands what the material world is there. So we think the material world is real. Right? We think the material world is real. But actually the material world is not, well, it's not, we shouldn't say it.
Because it is real, no?
Yeah, you always say that it is real.
It
You
is
always say
real,
that
but it is temporary.
temporary. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
And it's a
thank you.
perverted reflection of the superior
Spiritual
That's
world.
right.
spiritual world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So then Pṛthu Maharaj, because he is in that transcendental position, he's acting in that way. All his activities are in that way also. That's how he's able to see everyone as equal. He's properly able to take care of everyone. He's properly able to make everyone happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Learned a new things. Shakti-Avesh avatar.
Shakti-Avesh avatar.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What does it mean, Shakti-Avesh avatar?
Means he's an incarnation of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, but
Power.
Direct.
he is not Vishnu Tattva, he is.
Jeev Tattva. No, not the Jeev Tattva. He's
Yeah, he is Jeev Tattva.
Jeev
That's right.
Tattva, yeah.
Yeah. He's empowered incarnation.
Empowered.
Yeah,
he is-
empowered. Yeah, that's
Correct.
the word.
That word was not
Empowered.
coming. Yes, empowered. Okay.
He's empowered. He's been given the power by the Supreme Lord.
So
to
then it's
act.
called Shakti-Avesh avatar.
That's right.
Shakti-Avesh.
Shakti-Avesh avatar. Sometimes Narad Muni is also referred to as Shakti-Avesh avatar.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.